welcome back to the Your Pretty Pennies Wedding on a Budget series. I'm Tara Jones, financial and lifestyle success coach. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to this series. I am so excited. This is video 2 where we're going to be talking all about budgeting, priorities, the key financial contributors to your wedding, and all of that good stuff. Before I dig into this, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and also like this video. This lets me know that you like this, that you want to see more, and that you're excited about the upcoming videos. Also, check the description box because I created a checklist that goes along with this video series, and also I'm putting in my budget tracker that I use to manage the wedding budget. I created this tracker on my own. It's an Excel, so you can use it in Google Sheets, you can use it in Excel spreadsheet, Microsoft Excel, all that good stuff. And so you don't want to miss all the goodies that I have for you in the description box. And also I have linked the video to our wedding, our $5,500 wedding on a budget that happened back in February. It is about a 4-minute video that kind of highlights the day of our wedding, and I absolutely love that video. So make sure you hit the description box for all the links. All right, girl? Let's jump into this because this is video number 2. The last video we talked about mindset and creating the vision for your wedding. Now we're talking about how to set a budget, right? This is the biggest thing. This is probably going to be the most popular video, is setting the budget for the wedding. And the steps that I took, I'm going to kind of outline what I did first, second, and third in order to create the budget for my wedding. So the first thing I did was I listed my key financial contributors to our wedding. So if you want, grab your notebook that you're using from the last video, yesterday's video. Remember I told you to grab a wedding notebook, a fresh notebook to write down all your wedding planning ideas and goals and vision and everything else. Turn to a new page, and the first thing you're going to do is write down the key financial contributors that you can think of for your wedding. So that is exactly what I did. So of course it was me, my fiance, his parents, my parents, grandparents, any aunts and uncles that's in your life that might want to contribute, any siblings that you have that might want to contribute, friends of family, close friends, church family, pastors, mentors, etc. This list is going to look different for everybody because your level of closeness and your level of relationship with these type of people will vary. For some of us, our parents are pretty much not going to do much at all. For me, my parents did most of the heavy lifting for our wedding. But for some of us, our pastors might do more, or a mentor or a friend of the family, or our church family might pull together some money. So get very creative when it comes to this. Another thing that you can do is say, hey, my fiance and I, or so-and-so and I are engaged. Hey, if you want to bless us with anything, or if you want to contribute to this wedding financially in any way and really want to bless us as we're starting to go forward in a wedding planning wedding planning process, please let us know how much you can contribute and when. That'd be greatly appreciated. I think we get caught up in, we want to be prideful and we don't want to look like we need anything, but weddings have always, since the beginning of time, been a community and collaborative effort, and now it's no different, right? And so don't feel ashamed or weird if you have to ask other people for help, because for me, our parents, both my dad and my mother, and my husband's dad and mother, his name is Darren, and Darren's parents, they were excited to contribute to our wedding, and we didn't really have any issues, and our grandparents were excited, right? And our siblings were excited. They didn't give us monetary money, neither did our bridal party, but they helped in so many other ways, and we'll get into that in a bit. So don't feel like you're doing it on your own. You're out on a ledge on your own. You're absolutely not, right? One thing that we did, so we wrote down all the financial contributors, and then we had a meeting and also sent out to our close relatives and said, hey, we're getting married, we have a date set, if you want to contribute anything, please let us know. You can send a check, you know. And then some people are like extended family who are in California and Florida and things like that, they were like, yeah, where do we send the check to? We want to help. How do we send you the money? We want to help, right? So we pulled together all that money. And then once we realized who else wanted to help, one thing that we did was we wrote down some of the big costs of our wedding that we knew we were going to need off bat, and we asked for them to cover those as gifts to the wedding, right? So for example, my mom and dad are divorced. So my mom, she gave us lump sums of cash towards the wedding, but she also paid for my dress and veil. So I didn't have to pay for that, right? So that was out of the wedding budget. My dress was not included in that $5,500, that $5,500 budget, because we got it as a gift. I got it as a gift, right? My dad did the catering. He covered the catering. So he gave us lump sums of money along the way, but he also covered the catering and the reception venue, right? We all know that we're going to need a place to host our venue. We all know that we're going to need a dress and a veil or a tux or whatever, some of the main key staples of having a wedding. So why not ask for that as gifts? So my parents, both my mom and dad, they didn't bring gifts to the wedding because my gift was on the front end. And I was okay with that because, again, my biggest thing and my biggest goal and my husband's biggest goal was to have this party celebrating our union. It wasn't necessarily having a table full of gifts. So I was very much okay with receiving a lot of my gifts on the front end instead of on the back end. And so that's exactly what happened. My mom didn't give us, well, they ended up buying us a washer and dryer, but that was like a fluke thing or whatever. But her initial gift for our wedding was lump sums of money, dress, and veil. My dad was covering the catering and covering the reception venue. And later on in one of the videos, when we talk about vendors and everything, and in this video series, I'm going to talk about what if no one covers that, right? I am very aware that that might be included in your budget, and girl, I give you some great tips on how to handle that and still execute a wedding on a budget. All right, Darren's parents, they sent us small amounts of money every week and every 2 weeks, right? So they didn't give us large lump sums of money like my mom and dad did. They gave us small amounts of money, and with those smaller amounts of money that added up to a large amount of money, over the period, I use those to make the deposits, right? So the way that people help you and contribute to your wedding can look very different from person to person, and you just kind of have to strategize. Okay, if somebody's sending me a $200 check, okay, I'm going to use that for a deposit. If somebody gives me a large lump sum of money, okay, I can use that for a wedding venue deposit. I can use that for covering the event decorator who needs a larger sum of money or a larger deposit, things like that, right? The next thing that you need to do in your journal or in your notebook is right at the top, high priority versus low priority. And then you're going to create sections where you're going to put on the next line, high priority, skip down about 10 lines, put down low priority. And as you look at that vision that you wrote for your wedding, I want you to write down what is high priority versus low priority. In order for us to execute a $5,500 wedding on a budget in 6 months, completely debt-free, I'm about to let you know what my high priority list was and then what was low on our priority, all right? So for us, a high priority was having our family and friends witness our ceremony. Not necessarily the reception, but the ceremony, right? So we were more focused on having a venue that can accommodate a lot of people who wanted to see us actually exchange wedding vows, say vows to our children, do our blended family thing, walk in, see my beautiful dress, all that good stuff, right? Because there's a difference between your ceremony and your reception. There's 2 parts to the wedding day, right? And each come with their own separate bills if you if you're not careful, right? And so for us, we wanted an adequate size venue for the wedding ceremony. And then we wanted a small private reception because we knew that the catering is what is most expensive, one of the most expensive things, right? And so we wanted to have a smaller reception with just friends, close friends, and close family, and then a large reception where we can have extended friends, extended family, everybody come, church family, everybody can see us. We have a receiving line to where we say thank you and take pictures with everybody, but we have a small private reception to keep costs down. Great food was high on our priority list. Great photography and videography. Again, check out our wedding video. It is beautiful. A beautiful dress. And I wanted a white and black tux for Darren. And then I wanted to stay under $7,000. Those were my high priorities on my list. And great decor. Low on my list was a larger reception. I don't care about having a 400-person reception. I would rather have 400 people witness my union because, first of all, people don't be dancing. Listen, I'm a dancer. I stay on a dance floor all night. I already know that most people that I'm connected to, y'all don't be dancing. So I'm not about to pay all this money for y'all to sit up in chairs all night looking at me and then y'all go home early because y'all tired. Already know. So therefore, I would rather for all of y'all to get cute, get dressed up, come to my wedding ceremony, see in my boo thing, exchange vows, exchange rings, see me love on my children, see us do our blended family thing, walk down the aisle, see my beautiful dress, we give hugs, take pictures at the end, and then y'all going about y'all business, and then I eat with my friends and my immediate friends and my immediate family because y'all ain't gonna dance anyway. And for me, the reception is all about dancing. So I'm just like, I'm not paying for people to sit up on a wall. And that's exactly what happened. Look at my video. It was about 25% of the people who were there. We had a reception about 75 to 100 people. It was about 80, 90 people who came. And about 25 people danced, right? And most people were gone. So our reception started at 6 p.m. Most people were gone by 9 p.m. By 9 p.m., it looked scarce. Right? So why would I pay tons of money for people to sit around and not even really mingle, not even really have a good time, not really even turn up? Like, it just won't happen. You know, like that's just not the culture of today's. It depends on your family and friend culture. My family and friend culture, they're not doing all of that. If I had family and friends who would have had more of a party type of vibe to them, I would have did it. But I didn't because that ain't what they doing. That ain't what they about. I was not interested in an expensive DJ. I created my own playlist. I bought a DJ. I hired a DJ who literally only paid $300 for 7 hours anyway. And I just gave him my playlist, sent him my Apple Music playlist. He played my before dinner playlist and then my after dinner turn up playlist. And people did requests, and it was awesome. It was so much fun. Accessories and hair. I was not spending a ton of money on my hair. I already got a beautiful head of hair. And one thing that I learned while I was in the planning process, this one woman who I was watching on YouTube, she talks about how women will try to get this elaborate style for their hair on their wedding day and they end up hating it. And she really talked about how you should wear your hair how you normally wear it day in and day out, because that's how you like how you look. You like how you look when you wear your hair like how you wear it every day. You might not like how it looks when you try to get some weird elaborate style that you've never worn before, right? And actually, my best friend, she talks about how her friends the day of hated their hair and they always had to repin it, redo this, redo that, because the stylist did their hair in a way that they necessarily didn't like. So I did my own hair and I did really cheap accessories, and because my dress was so beautiful and elegant and, you know, classic, and it was more expensive, it made the jewelry look expensive. But really, I got my jewelry and my headpieces and everything off of Amazon for like $20, and it really looked very nice and upscale and elegant. I was not interested in elaborate bouquets. I am not the one to spend a lot of money on flowers that die, or flowers or bouquets that you're not going to use but for one day. That's just a waste of money to me. So basically what I did not do was get elaborate bouquets. They had long stem red roses that they held, and it was beautiful. And then I had a bundle of long stem red roses that I kind of laid in front of me. They were real, and I paid about $50. I think I did an itemized for all of my my items and accessories in one of my videos. I talk about what I paid for everything, but I only paid about $50 to $60 for all those roses, including the boutonnieres on the guys. $60 for all of my florals, right? Girl, I'm not paying a bunch of money for florals. I was not interested in paying a ton of money for invitations, so we did digital invitations. In fact, one of my good friends, I love her dearly, as a gift to me, as a wedding gift to me, her name is Devin, and I'll link her information. She did our wedding invite, and I'm going to put it on the screen, our wedding invite here. She did our wedding invite, and it was beautiful, and she gave it to me as a gift, and I did digital invites, so I emailed them to friends and family about the ceremony. And so again, we had about 150 to 200 people for our wedding ceremony, and we had about 75 to 100 people come to our reception, and it just worked out beautifully. I didn't pay money on I wanted a lower priority or lower amount of money spent on bachelorette party and bridal shower. Again, bridal shower, bachelorette party are usually executed by your bridal party, your bridal team, your parents, and things like that. I was so focused, again, my budget, keeping my budget under a certain amount was such a high priority to me that I could, in good conscience, try to have them be all elaborate when it comes to the bachelorette party or the bridal shower. And the things that we did for our bridal shower, we actually had it at a restaurant, and it was the only cost that it was incurred was the amount of food you had to spend. But you know, my bridal party, they spent I think $100 each, and they were able to cover all the guests who were there, food and drinks for that time. And we opened up gifts. We had cake, we had dessert, we had good music, we had like this whole section to ourselves. Like, it was pretty much bare inside of the restaurant, because it was actually like a snowstorm that day, but everybody still came out, and it was just beautiful. I loved it. And they only spent about $100 all together each. And I'm so thankful, because I didn't want me to be nickel and diamond, so to speak, for my wedding, and then I expect them to come out of pocket hundreds of dollars. No, that's just wrong, right? And then for my bachelorette party, we did trap yoga, we did painting with wine, we went out to eat, we went on the town, we went downtown, we did so much that night. Had a hotel room, kicked it, danced, laughed, we had so much fun, and it did not cost a lot, and I loved it. It was one of my favorite nights to remember, so I loved that too. And then I have a list of things that I'm not spending on for my wedding. I was not spending money on a website. Because there's too many free websites out here for you to get the job done. I use Zola.com, and I will link our wedding website and show you how easy and effective it was and efficient it was, and I didn't have to spend no money on it. Corsages for parents, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not spending any money on live music, not doing that. I'm not spending any money on hotel rooms. Me and my husband, we got our first family home right at the top of the new year, and we were getting married a month after. So we got married January 1st, and then we moved into our first home January 1st, and then, which is a new built home. And then February 15th was our wedding ceremony. I am not paying for hotel rooms when we can come home. We just sent our kids away, and they went to their grandparents' house, and then we came home after our wedding, and we spent the night at home together in our brand new home, and opened up our gifts, ate chocolate strawberries, did you know what, and then we left for our little mini honeymoon the day after. We were not paying no money into no hotel when we got a beautiful home, a beautiful room to spend our night together in after our wedding. I did not spend money on wedding programs, because that is a waste of time and money. I did not spend money on wedding favors, because there's too many times I went to weddings when all the wedding favors get left on the table. I did not spend money on dance classes, before, for me and my husband or me and my dad or whatever, our first dances were just fine without any dance classes. I did not spend money on alcohol because I am not a drinker. My husband is not a drinker. In fact, he and his dad are allergic to alcohol. Y'all want to get drunk, y'all BYOB, or you're drunk before or after. Y'all can fund your own habits. I'm not condoning anybody getting lit and driving home and all that good stuff. Nope. And then I did not pay for any limos. We used our own vehicles to get to and from everywhere. All right. So if that's a kind of like an exhaustive list of like things we did pay for, things we did not pay for, and things I just refuse to spend money on. And again, this is all before I set the budget. So before you even set the budget, you got to be like, sis, this is what I am paying for. This is what I'm not paying for. This is what we do want. Talk to your husband and say, okay, if I look back and I don't have all my friends and family there, I'm going to be upset. If I look back and I don't have a limo, I'm going to be upset. If I look back, that limo, I could care less. My website could care less. What type of bouquets my ladies was carrying could care less. What I cared about was the decor, the mood, my dress, how I looked, how my husband looks, right? Our friends and family were there, the food, my photography, because these videos and pictures are going to stay with us forever. That's kind of what's going to last for us. And yeah, everything else was like, I could care less, right? So make sure you know what are important to you and what's not important to you. And lastly, make sure you hit that description box for the budget tracker, because I want you to, once you start talking to your family and start to say, if somebody says, okay, I can contribute $2,000, I can contribute $1,000, I can contribute $500, I can buy your dress, I can do the catering, I can, make your invitations, all these things. Those are the preliminary things you kind of want to draw out. After that, set your budget. So after what my parents said they can contribute, what our finances was looking like, how much we can contribute out of each paycheck or every time we got paid, what my dad can contribute, what my mom, what his parents can contribute, what my extended family, what my grandparents wanted to contribute. Then we set the budget. We set our budget at $7,000 and we came out at $5,500. And the reason why that was is because we had the budget tracker. Sis, do not be, I understand most people don't use a monthly budget. I still think that's crazy and bananas. That is why people blow their monthly budgets every month. But don't try to just haphazardly wing how you're spending your wedding money and your wedding funds. Use your wedding budget tracker. Set amounts for each category. When you download your tracker, you need to set an amount that you plan to spend in each category. So for example, if you still have to pay for your wedding dress, say, okay, I'm spending $500 on my wedding dress. Again, we're going to talk about how to get wedding dresses at a lower cost if that is something that needs to be in your budget, or if it's food, or if it's, all of the bridal attire for your children. If it's the venue, set how much you want to spend. Set the main budget goal, so $7,000, and then you need to break down how much you're willing to spend on each category and allow that to total up to $7,000. Again, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So if your goal is to spend $5,500 on your wedding, but you haven't broken down how much you're willing to spend and how much you're not willing to spend on each part of your wedding, it's just going to be a wish, right? So make sure before you get any quotes, before you start calling around, before you start asking people online how much they spent, whatever, you need to say, I am only spending X amount of money on my dress, X amount of money on the tux, X amount of money on food, X amount of money on travel, X amount of money on venue, X amount of money on florals. You need to set that budget. Don't let the wedding industry set that budget. Don't let your parents set the budget, your in-laws set the budget, whoever got an opinion set the budget. You and your fiance say, this is what we're going to spend. And then once you start calling around, again, we're going to have a vendor video on how to execute and get things done for a small amount of money. Then that's when you go around and start asking for quotes and prices, and you choose the people who's within your budget. You don't start spending based on somebody else's budget and somebody else's prices. You find somebody who can work with you within your budget. All right, sis? Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you share this video, hit that subscribe button on your way out, and I will talk to you in video 3, which is all about premarital counseling. It is with me and my husband. We were so excited to do that video, so make sure you head on over to video number 3 after it's posted. Talk to you later. Bye.